right, guys, just showing you guys the different motor mounts on the table. So this is the OEM mount, okay, which a lot of people like and dislike if you're driving the car hard. You can see here how it's got the voids in the rubber, and it also offsets the mounting hole over here. So that's going to pick up the slack in the driveline. This is the PRL mount, which I've had in the car for a while since I shot my video. And the mount works exceptionally well. This has a molded, like they pour, they set the insert in a housing, in a jig, and then they pour the rubber in here. I don't know the durometer, but it's the same durometer over here and over here. This is also pretty heavy, pretty robust. It works great. My only complaint, like I talked about it in my video, was it does give a lot of resonance, and it does give some like roar, you know, at low RPM, and it is starting to bother me a little bit. So doing some research, I came across the COBB mount. And the one thing I like about this, COBB is a great company, a great tuning company. So you can see it's very, very high quality. It looks like they feel like they shot Peony aluminum before they anodize it. And also the inserts are polished before they get anodized as well. So when you put the bolts through, it actually helps not get them hung up. So COBB is using a different durometer on this bushing and this bushing. And also this is significantly lighter than the OEM and the PRL. This is very, very heavy and chunky, and this is much lighter. Now, by design, coming from an engineering and manufacturing background, I feel that this being lighter with different durometer bushings and having these window cutouts is gonna absolutely negate a lot of NVH that I'm feeling with a solid mount like this, but we don't know. So we're gonna pop it in the car right now. It only takes a couple of minutes, literally 5-minute job. Car's in the lift, a 17 and 19 millimeter bolt. You remove the bottom pan with some twist fasteners and a couple of Phillips heads, and this thing is good to go. So I'm gonna pop it in the car now. I'm gonna road test it, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my final thoughts on the COBB DE5 and also the FL5. So this is also for the Civic Type R and the Integra Type S. Okay, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts. I think this is a better mount for a high performance, more aggressive street driver versus OEM. So with OEM, you're gonna, you get more torque steer, you get, a lot of compliance. This definitely took about 85% of the torque steer out. It also makes the shifting better. It makes the car feel much more aggressive. I just don't love at low RPMs the buzzing I'm getting on the car and a little bit of that resonance. So if this is gonna be a good alternative, I'll give you guys a real honest review of this. And I'm not sponsored. I picked this up on the COBB website. I think I paid $208 plus shipping over the holidays, and I've just been really busy, and we had a lot of snowstorms and stuff to get it in the car. So it gives me a good time that I got about 800 miles on this, and I got about 200 miles on this, and we're gonna put some miles on this, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts as far as what I think. But I'm pretty confident from the design, engineering, and materials that this is probably gonna be the best solution for what I'm looking for. I'm not building a 600 horsepower track car. I already have a 600 horsepower track car in my stable. This is just for a street car, and we're doing the custom build for the channel. And I just want the car to be, somewhat comfortable and also a performance increase. So let's get it installed, and I'll come back in a few days and I'll wrap up. As you can see, it literally is a 5-minute job. So just showing you guys a little tip. Definitely put a screw jack under the assembly. It makes it a lot easier. And then I spray a little bit of WD-40 on the mating surfaces, and it pops right in effortlessly. Torque it down, put the underbelly pan back on, and you're good to go. You can kind of see it right there. So looks nice. Went in nice and easy, no issue. So I don't mind playing with this stuff, trying stuff out for you guys and sharing it on the channel. So let's go for a ride and get some feedback, and I'll finish this review in a couple. All right, guys, just got the car down on the lift. Let's do a cold start. Oh yeah, night and day difference. Night and day difference from the PRL. The PRL on the first start, everything was resonating in the dash and over here. Brrr, you kind of feel it. Almost sounds like you have an open piped exhaust. So we're gonna take this car, put some miles on it, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on what I think of this COBB motor mount. Let's rev it up. That's the PRL intake. Yeah, I don't feel any annoying NVH in the pedals or the floor right now. So super excited. I'll be back and I'll give you guys the full review in a couple days. So I've been driving around with the COBB mounts for almost 300 miles. You guys could probably see the roads are a bit wet, and I think now is a good time to do a video on it because we had a lot of rain come through the last couple of days. But so far, this mount is doing everything that the PRL mount is doing, just with a much more refined state. So you're not getting all that buzz. So you see right there? And I got the traction control limited. I hit the switch over here. It's not fully disabled. And like I said, I would say torque steer is probably reduced around 80%. Wheel hop, you see it there, it spun the tires, didn't have any wheel hop. So overall, from driving around with this mount, and you know, I had the PRL mount for about 800 miles in the car, I definitely think this is a far better solution for the street driver. Someone that wants to do some mods on the street, maybe they're not building a 500-600 horsepower, you know, 2-liter motor. That's kind of like where I'm going with this thing, and I don't want to have the whole dashboard and door panels and everything buzz all over the place. The Cobb mount is definitely the best one on the market, I think, 100%. I think, you know, it's lighter, it's got the different durometer bushings, it seems better manufactured. There's more machining steps and there's more finishing steps in that product than the PRL. The PRL is just a block of aluminum that's machined. There's no real finish on it, no anodized, nothing like that. And then they just put the insert into a jig and pour the rubber and, you know, off the way. And they're also pretty much priced around the same. But no, the car feels great. Now, the one thing that the PRL mount does that the Cobb mount, and of course the OEM mount, the PRL mount gave a lot more noise. It gave a lot more rumble and noise at the lower RPM, that it makes the car feel more aggressive because of the sound. It almost makes it feel like you did a mild exhaust upgrade. Now, I'm gonna still put an exhaust in here. I'm still thinking about the non-resonated Miltech. I'm going back and forth right now to what exhaust I am gonna put on the car. So that's the one thing that I do miss, is that little aggressive rawness, you know, with the noise, the enhanced noise that you want while you're moving. Off the line, you know, driving in stop and go city traffic, the buzzing was just getting really, really annoying, especially in the dash and into the doors. But this thing totally solved the problem. Car still feels great. And I'm still on the Continental DWS 06 all seasons because, you know, we're still in the dead of winter for about another month and a half. But no, she feels good. She feels really, really good. So, like I said, I bought the mounts, both of them. I did the testing, and this is my honest feedback. You know, you can see, like I said, it's really wet right here. Watch, I'll try to... See? Very, very, like the most minuscule amount of torque steer right there. Very, very little. And that's kind of like what you want on a front-wheel drive car. You don't want to have too much torque steer because then it'll drive you nuts, the more power that you add. But no, overall, the Cobb mount, home run, 200-something bucks plus shipping. This road's wet right here. Yeah, she feels awesome. So guys, that's my review. A couple hundred miles, pretty much a tank and a quarter of fuel on the Cobb mount. Been driving it in all different conditions. We had a lot of, you know, snow, sleet, rain, and this road is fully, you know, saturated, and it's only 40-something degrees right now. You see? Yeah, she feels awesome. So for anybody that's interested in doing one of these mounts and you're kind of on the fence and you're listening to others, I'm telling you straight out, the Cobb mount is going to give you everything that the PRL mount is going to give you, minus the NVH and the buzzing of the cabin. But if you're not planning on doing an exhaust, maybe that would be the better solution for you, because it's going to kind of give you like a 2-in-1 deal where you're getting the benefits of the lower mount and you're getting a little bit more rawness into the car itself, and you're not replacing and spending the money on downpipes and a full exhaust. Now, if you do plan on doing a full exhaust, or you downpipe or all of that, and you can do some mods, and you don't really want to have the lower mount just adding more, you know, NVH and noise, dude, the Cobb is the way to go. So for anybody out there that's doing a street build, a mild street build, this is the way to go. Maybe on a track, you know, if you're really pushing this car on the track. Personally, I don't think I would track a front wheel drive car. I never have. I don't know, maybe, you know, a lot of you guys do that. But to be honest with you, I don't think I would. I just think I don't have enough front wheel drive track experience to do something like that. But overall, the car feels great. Still like it. Got about 1,200 miles. I just got the rear spoiler. Got a carbon spoiler coming. My custom wheels are being manufactured as we speak. I got another set of tires, and I'm going back and forth on the exhaust, guys. So if you guys have any feedback on that, you know, post it in the comments below or shoot me a direct email, or even hit me up on Instagram. I'm still thinking about doing the non-resonated Miltech And I just think it'll just add a little bit more excitement into this car right now, because overall it's pretty refined. But like I said, the COBB mount, it's a win. You guys see it in the video. You guys can see how I launched it, how when the car gets into wheel spin, how the steering wheel and the car is pretty controlled. That's telling you that the mount is doing its job. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content. There's going to be more content on the Integra Type S as I get further mods and I try them out. But this was actually a fun project that I tested out, the mount that everybody told me to get, and I saw some negative things about it that I didn't love, and then I did my research and I found something based on the design and engineering and what I was reading on it. This is definitely better suited for what I want in a car. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Take care, guys.